posterity. So this is the first, episode 0 of ZnZerna, and the final episode of Happy Little Trees. For Cold Rhymes Records, I am your host, P.T. Burnham, and we're getting into the Zernas. It is, the original was this one, which I came up with as a result of a sort of experience that I had, or a sort of like dawning of, I think, a lot of personal work that I had been doing, which was only moving a little bit at the time, but all at once, one day, kind of just moved a little bit for me. And since then, I've been putting a lot of trust in meditation and stuff like that. And the idea of the tape being the thoughts, and the ability of the end sticker user to put whatever they want into the thought bubble. I really like the idea of stickers that you can interact with, and I plan on making more of that type of thing as this project goes on, which that's a spoiler because there is going to be an additional sticker project, and it's going to be a little bigger and more ambitious, and it's going to tie in with the ZnZerna Music Hour. So ZnZerna, with its sort of like thought bubble that is empty, was a sort of attempt to render something. At the time, my music was really, it was just feeling super opinionated, and it is, it's got a lot of, my opinion, my viewpoint in there. And I wanted to create something artistic that did not really push a viewpoint. It was still interesting, but did not push that much of a viewpoint. So the Dust Cat became a thing. And we are going to get into a little bit more of the philosophy behind some of these things. Like ZnZerna, if you notice. And this was before I really solidified that it would simply be cats, and was still thinking of it as like a sort of series of characters. Whereas now it's not really a series of named characters. There's just a bunch of different ones, and they all kind of represent the same sort of thing. With a little bit of different characteristics representing some other stuff. So we're still taking a look at the original Johns, like ZnZerna. And it's kind of a fool character. Wandering in the dust, not sure what's happening. A lot of things come as a surprise to ZnZerna. Then we've got this one's the one that's a little bit complicated, and this is a secret actually that is going to be revealed here. This has not been revealed. Oh shoot, avalanche in the house, let's go. So avalanche, you might be the only one in the room who might know this already because of our discussions at work, which is where the Zerna were born, was in the workplace. So we've got this Przang character, and if you notice also, not really a cat, more of like a sort of demon thing, and thinking of a sort of representation of confusion. This was the Przang cover, which I'm going to cover things like Przang and something new, which is, I won't reveal it yet. But so if you notice, this is the only figure that's enclosed, and it is enclosed in a piece of tape, which what I'm kind of going for here is that this is the manifestation of the thoughts of ZnZerna. I may make a cartoon to sort of illustrate this idea. But for now, this is the first time I've made that specifically clear. It's the reason also that he's inside of a sort of world here, as opposed to the others who are isolated and not inside of a world. So, ZnZerna is a manifestation of the tendency towards silence and meditation and calm mindfulness as to how you deal with things inside your realm. The realm of the Zerna being the dust room. I will definitely have some cartoons and stuff of the dust room happening during the next, well, we'll call it a year of Zerna. So, in the dust room, well, let's just get into it. In the dust room, there are wheels, and there are Zerna, and there are dust. Well, there is dust. Maybe there are dust. There could be our dust. The wheels crush the Zerna into shape. They change the shape and grind down the Zernas. And what's happening is the wheels are changing their shape, and how the different Zernas deal with this change of shape is somewhat illustrated in the next Zerna versus ZnZerna. So this one, a lot of people really liked a lot. And I think I have the only one left that isn't claimed. And so I suppose it is because I'm claiming it. But we have King Zerna. And King Zerna has a few distinguishing characteristics, such as the blood and the crown. And what is a rule of Zerna, if you're keeping track of that sort of thing, is that crown either comes with an eye or some blood. Crowns don't come cheap, I suppose, is the message there. If you and King Zerna is more of a manifestation of the ego, getting things done, manifesting one's self, rather than just, kind of being a little bit easier in the way that you interact with the tyranny of the wheels. So another one that was really, really enjoyed by a lot of people was the ZnZerna, which was the first. It's a little harder to see. Here we go. Now, the ZnZerna is one that has sort of transcended the dust a bit, is aware now of the single aspect of itself that is not dust, which I was going to make that a big reveal at the intermission, but you know what? I think that I will just do the intermission here instead. So I think you can still hear me over the audio of this. And yeah, we've got the reveal that the Zernas are made of the same dust that's all around them. And that's an important fact about them. Was the echo on the vocals? Question mark? Barry? Okay. Well, let me know. Okay, cool. That's good to know, because I definitely didn't mean that Dust is Destiny. Dust is Destiny is a real, like, Who? Anybody who's in the chat right now is getting Dust is Destiny is a big secret one. That's basically ties in and signifies the, well, call it a belief, but it's really kind of also scientifically true. It's just not thought of as this like big significant thing in the scientific community, I suppose, or I'm not sure how it's thought of scientifically, but that everything here, all the things that you do here on this plane of existence, anything that you experience and the things of the ego that build and the things that you think that you are, and like basically everything that you surround yourself with, including your own identity, it's all dust. And you know, you can be carried along in memories of with others, but they're dust too. Like eventually it's all dust. So, you know, understanding that and maybe finding something in there that isn't dust. And the way to do that, that's kind of also implied in the form of the Zerna, because it's like you're not really looking for anything. What you're doing is wearing away. And that's kind of the wheel's job. The wheel is the source of the suffering, but the wheel is also that which molds and shapes you and eventually grinds you down into, grinds you down into dust. And you that which was dust becomes dust again. And the question is there something in you that is not dust? Is there something beyond the dust in you? But that's a whole can of worms. Like no human, I think, can answer it. But the ZnZerna hope is that there's something that transcends all that. So this was the ZnZerna sticker collection. Let's see, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there was another sticker printed up, which there is still a few available of, which is a really, I guess one of the points of the Zerna has become to illustrate without words ideas, some ideas. And so this one is the first time that I really tried to convey something like a little more concrete than just the blank thought bubble, which I like the blank thought bubble because you can write in it with Sharpie and it actually looks like part of the sticker, which is nice. But we have this. So this is another Zerna that I printed up. And that idea of the thoughts being the rain, which is like your suffering. This is, you know, all of the things that are causing the suffering mostly are happening because of thoughts that you're having. There's, of course, physical pain, but even that is actually like very much so a thought process thing and an ego thing. They say that even the consciousness is creating the body. So that makes pain also a sort of mental thing, all pain. But I'm not trying to dismiss physical pain. I've gone through a lot of it myself, and there's no amount of like thinking or wishing it away when you're in the throes of pain.